Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today I have a brand new foundation review for you guys. This is a brand new foundation, not just new to me, but new to Sephora. It is the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. That is quite a claim in the title. I'm really excited to try this foundation. I have heard good things, but all the things that I've heard have been more of excitement over this foundation, not actual reviews of this foundation. So I have a fresh, clean face for you guys. Just my skincare is applied. Before we get started in the application, and I will zoom you guys in closer, let's talk about this foundation and its claims. So this foundation is a Sephora House brand foundation. It is only available at Sephora. It comes in 50 shades and it retails for $20. I ordered the shade 20N and honestly, I just ordered this offline, so I didn't do any swatching in store. I'm hopeful that it is gonna work for me. Before we get started application, let's go ahead and read what Sephora.com says about this foundation. They claim it to be a medium coverage natural finish foundation with a long wearing anti-pollution formula that hydrates skin for up to 12 hours and is fused with skincare benefits. Coverage is medium, finish is natural. Highlighted ingredients are hyaluronic acid, which hydrates the skin, red algae extract, which also hydrates the skin, and brown algae extract, which provides an anti-pollution protective shield. Okay, let's see what else you need to know. Best Skin Ever Liquid Foundation delivers a second skin effect and provides lasting hydration while covering imperfections. Its formula is clinically shown to reduce the signs of stress, fatigue, and usage over time is proven to make skin smoother, more even, and more radiant. Okay, well, let's zoom you guys in and let's get started in the application. So quick little summary of my skin type, my skin concerns. So I have pretty normal skin. I do get oily in my T-zone. My biggest complaint in foundations is when it magnifies the texture in my skin, which for me are all of these pores right here. I don't like when foundation looks heavy or cakey. I like a good medium coverage. I typically shy away from full coverage foundations. I usually lean more matte foundations because they last all day on me. And living in Texas, you know, it's like 100 degrees most of the year. Not really, but it's very hot here. So I like to have a foundation that I can put on in the morning and isn't gonna look like a big greasy mess by 10 a.m. So that's kind of what I look for in foundations. Being 38, you know, my skin is changing, and while I love a matte finish foundation, I also have to consider the fact that, you know, I don't want it to make my skin look dry or flat or magnify any texture, fine lines, all of that. So the fact that this claims to have a natural finish and has medium coverage, it sounds like it might be, you know, kind of right in my wheelhouse, but let's see what it's all about. So I'm gonna actually apply it on my hand. This is the consistency of the foundation. So you can see it's nice and thick. There it goes. It's slowly starting to move down my hand, but it's not watery. It's not sliding down my hand. At touch, it has a nice texture to it. It feels almost kind of like a serum foundation, but a little more whipped than that. Serum foundations tend to be a little bit thinner in consistency than this. Well, quite a bit thinner than this, but it does have a really interesting slip to it. It does feel hydrating. When I put it between my fingers, I can feel how it's different. I can feel almost like a hydrating kind of skincare quality to it. Okay, and as far as application, I'm just gonna use the BK Beauty 106 brush because this is my go-to kind of foundation application tool. And when I'm testing a new foundation, I kind of like to use what I know works rather than trying different products. So I'm gonna go and I'm going to kind of press in the center of the face first. So the shade looks good. I do think I could have gone a little bit darker and been fine, but I do think that this one will work as well. So I'm just kind of pressing foundation like this before you go in and swipe or blend out is really gonna help you get the most coverage from a product that you can possibly get. If you go in immediately and start doing this, you're basically just kind of shearing it out, which you'll see me do, you know, as I get out here to the perimeter of the face because I want it to blend in, but in the center, I want more coverage. Okay, one thing that I didn't read is any claims to smooth out or blur pores. It does feel hydrating to the skin. Actually, this shade is kind of perfect. When I work it into the skin, I'm actually like, okay, this actually is like my exact skin tone. My face is always lighter than my body. I think that's true for most of us, right? But I can easily sometimes feel like I need a darker foundation when in actuality it's like perfect. Okay, so the coverage, I'm just looking at my monitor to see what you guys can see. The coverage looks pretty natural. It is doing a good job of covering, but it's definitely not a full coverage, which it doesn't claim to be. It looks really radiant to me at this stage. And my moisturizer I applied 2.5 hours ago, so it's not like my moisturizer was fresh on the skin. I did do a peel last night, which I think can make my skin more glowy in the morning. Okay, so I did end up using that full pump of product, and I don't think that I used too much. I think that that was like just the right amount for me. It blends out really easily. As you notice, I'm mostly using this pressing motion. I'm not even really buffing it in, and it's blending out really quickly. Okay. I think that's about good. You'll find that like I keep wanting to do this, and it's not necessarily to blend out the product. It's more to absorb some of that shine because it's real shiny to me right now. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna stop right there because I don't think that I'm going to cut that shine down anymore. So let's get in here a little closer. Okay, very, very radiant. It definitely is not doing anything to help the appearance of my pores. I think that my pores are very noticeable. I don't necessarily think that it magnified them, but they're very noticeable. I prefer a foundation that is more blurring, smoothing, a little more matte. Okay, let's go in and apply concealer, and I am gonna set this with a powder because I'm gonna wear this all day, and I always set every foundation with a powder. Even my favorite long-wearing foundations get set with a little powder, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go in and apply the Pat McGrath concealer. And because we are testing this foundation, I'm gonna try hard not to bring that concealer down too far. I don't want it to interfere with the foundation. I don't want it to help or hurt the foundation in any way. I wanna judge the foundation on its own. Okay, so this is where we're at with concealer and foundation. I haven't set it with powder yet. My thoughts stand firm in that it's very, very radiant. I definitely think it's more of a radiant finish on me than a natural finish. When I think of a natural finish, I think almost like I'm trying to think of foundations that come to mind, like the Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection foundation, whatever the title is. I love that one. That has a natural finish. I feel like the La Mer has a natural finish. I feel like the L'Oreal Fresh Wear has a natural finish. All of those foundations don't leave this level of radiance on the skin, but they're definitely far from matte. That's what I think of when I think of natural. This to me looks very, very radiant. Yeah, my nose even looks too shiny for me. So I am gonna set this with powder. I'm using the Pat McGrath loose powder. And the reason I chose this powder is because it doesn't really alter foundations too much. Yes, it does cut down shine a bit. I feel like I'm still gonna see the true integrity of the foundation even using this powder. Some powders are too heavy and it's like, you know, it's impossible to judge a foundation when you use it, but I'm using this one. And this is actually the Rephr 05 brush. And I'm just gonna press. So before I do the other side, I'll show you to compare. Yeah, so that cuts down shine quite a bit. So this side is set with powder, this side is not. Okay, I'm gonna go and set the other side and I will be right back. Before we go and apply the rest of my makeup, I wanna give you guys a little summary of what I am looking at. Definitely that powder cut the shine down. The finish of this now is comfortable for me. I do think though that it doesn't really help blur pores, and that's really important to me personally when I'm looking for a foundation. I really need it to smooth out my pores, otherwise it won't make its way into a rotation for me to be used. It hasn't really settled in pores. It blended out really easily. It did feel hydrating. It did give that really luminous shine. I'm gonna go and apply the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I have the rest of my makeup on. I will have all the products that I use listed down below. There are a few that I use that will be coming soon, so I can't link those, but I do have the BK Beauty Truth Beauty palette on. I've been obsessed with this look lately. We actually filmed a tutorial on this look for the BK Beauty Instagram, which should be up very soon if it's not already up. So if you don't follow us there, I'll have a link to our account down below to follow us. But okay, so now that the foundation has had some time to set, I have to say I like it more now than I did 25 minutes ago before I started applying the rest of my makeup. I was a little concerned about the shine, and I also felt like it didn't really help me in the, you know, pores department. But now that I have everything on, I have to say it looks really good. It looks very, I would say kind of like a natural, I have a natural matte finish going on here, but again, of course, that is partly due to the Pat McGrath powder. So I think once it's set with powder, it looks really nice. I don't really have anything to complain about at this point. I don't see it settling in any pores. It's not gathering. It's not looking heavy or cakey. It looks really, really nice. As far as like how natural it looks, I would say it's not like the most natural looking foundation on me. I mean, it looks like I have makeup foundation on. When you really look up close, you can't really see any areas where the foundation looks obvious. Does that make sense? So I like it so far. I think that we are starting off on a good foot. It is 11:37 a.m. right now. I will be checking in with you guys throughout the day and we will see how this foundation wears. Hey friends, so it's a little after 3 p.m. It is 3:14 p.m. to be exact. So I've had the foundation on for a couple hours. I haven't touched up yet. I've eaten lunch, but I haven't really done much else. I've been at the house this whole time. It looks really good. I'm gonna get you guys in a little closer. You are starting to see some shine here around the cheeks and the pores and on the forehead, but nothing that I wouldn't expect at this point. I have to say I'm a little surprised because when I first applied it, before I applied powder, it looked really radiant to me, but at this point it looks really good. I'll show you what light I'm using. Don't judge me for my messy dining room table, but I'm just using this natural light here at this window. So I don't have a ring light or anything like that on my face. And it looks pretty good. I did take a peek in a mirror before hopping on here and I haven't noticed it moving or migrating around my nose, which is the first place that foundations tend to migrate to, and things are looking good. So I forget what time I filmed this morning. I want to say it was around 11:30 or so. Yeah, around 11:30. So it's been on for, what is that, almost 4 hours? It's pretty good. I will check in with you guys in a few hours and see how things are looking. I do think I'm going to go in and touch up at this point because this is about the point that I would want to kind of matte down a little bit of this shine, but it's not anything nothing out of the ordinary or nothing bothersome, I should say. Bottom line, summary, 4 hours later, it looks good. Okay, you guys, I will see you in a few hours. Hey friends, it's a little after 8:30 p.m. So I've had the foundation on all day long. We just got home actually from dinner with my brother-in-law and his family and my in-laws. We sat outside. It's about 75 degrees in Austin. I know it's like unbelievably beautiful weather right now. So we were outside all evening, but again, it wasn't hot or humid or anything like that. I did touch up after my last check-in with you guys, which I think was, I can't remember what time that was. It was obviously just before this check-in, so a few hours ago. I wanted to take a look and kind of give you guys a recap of the foundation. I have to say this foundation did surprise me. When I first applied it, I thought that I was not gonna like it, but it actually got to be more beautiful as my skin oxidized and it had more time to kind of settle into the skin. And it wore surprisingly really well. I had one touch up today, that's it. Sure, there's a little bit of shine, but it really didn't budge or move. I don't see it. See, it actually looks really shiny right now, but in the mirror, it really doesn't. I mean, yes, it definitely is due for a touch up, but let me just say that judging by how it looked when I first applied it, it was extremely radiant. I did not expect this foundation to wear as well as it did today. I think that this would be a really great option for someone with dry skin. I think it'd be a great option for someone with more mature textured skin. Someone with really oily skin, maybe not the best option, but again, it was not excessively oily or shiny on me at all. I think I could touch this up and it would look really fresh and new. In fact, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Okay, let's just touch it up just for kicks and we'll see how things look. I'm using the Pat McGrath powder again. And I'm just taking a little bit and just setting where it's shiny. Yeah, it looks fresh and new. I'm just looking in my phone screen here. Let me look in a mirror. Yeah, you guys, it looks good. It looks really good. It hasn't moved. It hasn't settled in pores aside from the shine, which is expected. That is the only thing that has changed. It's really stayed in place. I didn't have much of a mask. Again, we were outside for dinner, so I didn't have a mask on much today, but I'm impressed, you guys. It's good. I definitely give this foundation a recommendation, especially drier, mature skin. I think it's really worth a shot. So good, and I think the color is a good match for me too. Yeah, it actually looks pretty perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you've tried this foundation, I would love to know your thoughts on it. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what foundation you would like to see me review next. I feel like I have a lot on my list. I want to try the new Physicians Formula foundation. I want to try the e.l.f. foundation or the CC cream or whatever that is. I want to try that one. There are so many to try, but this one definitely gets 2 thumbs up. I will certainly keep this on my vanity in rotation. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I have got to go get these little kids to bed. They are like wired on birthday cake and sugar. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.